Hello and welcome to Glorious Goodwood. I'm Tom Kerr and I'm joined here by Stuart Riley, Lee Modishead and Paddy Powers, Paul Binfield to look forward to day 2 of the Glorious Goodwood Festival, or should we say the Qatar Goodwood Festival. I think that's the technical name now, is that not right, guys?
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely, we're all for the sponsors. So we're going to be looking forward to an action-packed day of racing, with the highlight being, of course, the Sussex Stakes, the Jewel on the Downs, as it is now always known. Let's start with you, Stu. Ribchester is a favourite. Will you be backing him?
No.
Okay. Go on if you like.
I'll be siding with Churchill. I think it's a very tough race for older horses to win if they're coming across a decent 3-year-old, and I think Churchill's more than a decent 3-year-old. I think he's very good. Be a very hard horse to give £7 to. We saw it with Enable. It's very hard to give these precocious 3-year-olds the weight. They're more forward than they used to be. You know, you get the likes of Ulysses last year. He was running in Group 3s here, and now he's a Group 1 winner at 4. But these more forward types, it's very hard to give them the weight. So at the prices, I'd be siding with Churchill.
Okay. Speaking of the prices, Paul, let's hear what you got, Paddy Power.
Yeah, well, we're 11 to 10 Ribchester, Tom. By the way, this is take 4 for viewers, isn't it? After you mucked up the first.
You're supposed to reveal all the secrets, Ben.
Take 3?
Oh, sorry, take
3,
3, Thomas. Okay, 6 to 4 Churchill, 8 Zhao Zhao, 16 Lightning Spear and Lancaster Bomber, and 33 to 1 Bar.
Excellent. Okay, Lee, what do you make of those prices, and where's your money going?
Well, I think what's interesting about this race is the thing that Stu normally talks about, the tactics of the contest, because we've got 2 pacemakers in here. Godolphin have a pacemaker for Ribchester in Toscanini, who went off like the clappers in the Queen Anne but didn't in the Locking Stakes. And Churchill has a potential pacemaker in Lancaster Bomber. How those 2 horses are deployed, I think, could have a bearing on how the race pans out, because my theory is that if Godolphin are clever and they almost try and use Toscanini to slow the pace a little bit in the front rank, I think that would suit Ribchester, because I don't think Churchill is a horse with an immediate turn of foot, and I'm not convinced that this track will play to his strengths.
Do you not think they come round that bend and it's downhill? You can look at it from where we are now. It'll just help him get rolling?
No, that's not my opinion.
Okay.
I respect your opinion, especially in those glasses, but it's not my opinion. I think Ribchester ran a cracking race here to be a closing third last year. He's won 3 Group 1 since. I was disappointed with Churchill last time. He's just not a horse that does it for me, despite his win record. And I think of the big 2, and it surely is between the big 2, because really, although Zelzal is a nice horse, the best thing about him is that he's 1 latch away from the mighty Zilzal, who won this in 1989. That's his best chance. That's
a good punting angle there, Lee.
Yeah, it's by my standards, that's quite a strong punting angle. No, so I think this is Ribchester's Sussex Stakes to lose. I think he will win it, not lose it.
Okay, Stu, we just had a little chat there about tactics, and as Lee dobbed you in, basically, you are the tactics expert here. So how do you see the race panning out?
I think Lee is correct in his assertion of Godolphin's potential tactics. I think it will suit them to try and slow it up. Churchill, to me, looks, especially at a mile, he looks an out-and-out galloper. I've been saying all season, I think they should be stepping Caravaggio up to a mile, they should be stepping Churchill up to middle distances. They're keeping him at a mile, and I think he wants a truly run mile, so I expect Lancaster Bomber to go on. They really do need to make it a stern test and go early and go hard, but I think if they do that, and if it is a thoroughly run race and they come around that bend, it's a long straight and he gets rolling downhill, I think he may just in that last furlong surge clear again like he did in the Guineas. So that's how I see it playing out tactically, but I think Lee's spot on with, for Godolphin, their best chance is to try and get to the front and then try and back it up.
Okay, thanks. And Paul, what's your take on the race, and what did you make of Churchill's disappointment at Ascot?
Yeah, I think he was clearly disappointing, Tom. The Ribchester is clearly the best miler we've seen this season so far. They're both too short, in my opinion. I think Zalzel could throw up an upset. He was a Group 1 winner in the Prix Jean Prat last year, over a mile. Gregory Benoit rode him on his first start this year, and it looked like he thought he was riding Frankel. The amount of the amount of ground he thought he could make up at the end. Frankie won't make that mistake, so maybe he might find a couple of chinks in the front too. But it's a big guesswork, Tom. I think they're both too short for me, you know.
Okay, you're taking on the duel.
I'll take them
You're
on.
saying it's not a duel, it's a three-way.
Yeah, we've had these duels before, and then something's come and won. We've seen it at Cheltenham with Imperial Commander against.
Corto Denman.
Wouldn't you like to be talking jumps now, wouldn't you, Lee? But what a great race!
What did they call that one again? What was that one? What was the moniker? Yeah, there was a tagline for that as well, didn't there?
Yeah, Corto Denman. What was the tagline for that one?
It was along the lines of this is a two-horse race, and then
it was along those lines. Along those lines, you can tell you work in marketing actually, Paul, because it's a two-horse race. I think that's what they should be putting up on the posters. In fact, we were talking about alternatives to the duel on the Downs, because it's getting a bit tired now, isn't it? It's a bit tired. You know, I came up with the West Sussex skirmish.
You did. It was very good.
The bout in the south.
Yeah, that was good.
And what was yours, Lee?
Mine was they're rocking near Cocking, because of course we are just down the road here, viewers, from Cocking.
Excellent. Okay, so let's just recap where we're all standing on this one. You're going for Churchill?
Churchill.
Ribchester.
Sell.
Lovely. Thanks, guys. That's the panel's opinion. We'll move on to the Molecomb now. We've got Wesley Ward in there with Happy Like a Fool, who he was very keen on at Ascot, but obviously got beaten by a good one there. Is Happy Like a Fool going to make amends, Lee?
I think Happy Like a Fool probably will make amends. I mean, the pace that Wesley is convinced this horse has within her grasp should make this racecourse, if we look down here, it's a downhill run from the 5 furlong pole. Sam, our producer, is just whizzing round his camera.
Nice panning shot.
That's gorgeous work there from Sam.
Good with that camera.
He's very good with that camera. Yeah, I think she's got loads of natural speed. I think she'll blaze downhill. I think they'll struggle to catch her. But I have to say, the Molecomb Stakes generally, I find one of the least interesting group races in the calendar. Happy Like a Fool makes it more interesting, but I'm still not wildly interested.
Okay. So how is Paddy pricing it up?
Well, we make Happy Like a Fool 7-4 favourite, Tom. 4-1 Havana Grey, and then 6 Invincible Army, 8 Battle of Jericho, and it's 10-1 Bar.
Okay. Stu, what's your verdict on this one?
I agree with Lee. I think Happy Like a Fool is going to go off a tremendous clip and will take a fair bit of pegging back. One horse that I think could go with him is Havana Grey, who's won 2 listed races at Sandown this year. I was there for the first of those, I think it was the National, and he did the exact same thing. He went off, set a really good gallop. It's uphill the whole way at Sandown, downhill here, but he blazed the trail and wasn't for catching, and I think if he can repeat that, then he may well be able to stick up with Happy Like a Fool. The other one that I'm tempted to give a chance to at a price is Sound and Silence. Obviously won at Royal Ascot, was very impressive that day. Disappointed last time at Newmarket, but if you're willing to forgive that, I think 10-1's a fair price in an each way market.
And I should just say, Tom, I think I was being a bit overly harsh on the Molecomb Stakes. Although it's not my favourite group race, the presence of Happy Like a Fool does make an intriguing puzzle to solve.
Absolutely. It feels like you've been nobbled. Have you been nobbled?
Well, you should be in marketing.
I live with a guilt complex, and as I said those words, I thought, no, you've been too hard there on the Molecomb Stakes. He's been around for a lot longer than I have.
You just think Goodwood are going to take away your champagne at the end of the week?
Oh no, I would never drink champagne before getting in the Volkswagen.
Okay, Paul, what's your verdict in the Molecomb?
Well, I'm going as a bookie, I think we've got to take on Happy Like a Fool. Havana Grey. I think Colbert might have said that they got the tactics wrong in the Norfolk. You know, they made all in the national stakes. Stuart was just talking about. Then they tried to come from behind in the Norfolk. Didn't work. Went back to making all in at Sandown in another listed race last time. And I think Havana Grey might serve it up to Happy Like a Fool. I'm going to go with him.
Okay, thanks so much, guys. We're going to take a quick ad now, and then we'll be back in a second just to look over the rest of the card.